Hi everyone and welcome back. Behind me is the tender to the V6 1670, and we've looked at this tender a lot over the last couple videos, just kind of putting the finishing touches on it. Today I want to do one final video where we kind of walk around and talk about the different things that we've done to this tender over the last couple of years. This tender within the next couple weeks is going to be moved outside into our pole barn where it's going to be painted and lettered and finished. And at that time, we're going to swap the tender for the locomotive. So look forward to us bringing the locomotive in and starting work on that very soon. But before it goes out, we're going to just talk about a couple things that we did to this and go underneath and kind of show exactly what was involved in fixing this and highlight a couple of challenges and a couple of interesting things that you might not know. One of the big areas that needed work on this tender were the side sheets. As water and rust would settle to the bottom of the tender over the years, they had a tendency to rust out along the rivet line. This was one of the big areas where when we brought this in, there was a lot of rust on the sheets, and we decided that it was probably in our best interest to cut a piece out of it and replace it. So this was welded in. I did this earlier this year. We put new rivets in. The rivets are heat treated and they're welded full on the inside. There's also a double-sided repair, so I stick welded the inside of this and then I MIG welded the outside of this and kind of blended it as best I could. Another challenging aspect of this tender was the installation of this sill here. This piece of metal runs across the entire side of the tender, and its job is to pretty the tender up so it looks better, because if you pulled this piece of metal away, you'd see the butt ends of the lumber that runs across the tender horizontally. Making sure that this looked good, didn't sag at all, and was butt up against the tender was pretty challenging, because this piece was 25 feet long, so in the middle it tended to droop a little bit, and making sure that it was consistent across the whole length of the tender was pretty challenging. Coming to the rear of the tender, there was a lot that had to be done to the back of the tender that took a long time. This whole pilot area, this metal here, this is brand new. This whole area had to be rebuilt because when we got this was pretty much completely rotten away. So having to get this remanufactured, put in, cut out, took some time. The headlight, that took me about 2 to 3 months to build my first reproduction one, and I think it came out pretty good. We had to do all the conduit on the back was redone, and it's wired so that it can be lit. The headlight can be lit, and then the 2 marker lights can be lit. The marker lights needed attention as well. Some of them had broken feet, so we had to weld them back together. And we also had to put the pilot back on, cut the boards, get all of the structural components for the rear put back on as well, and these aren't light. So we had to make sure all of these aligned, and that was the tricky part, making sure that these step ends aligned with the holes for this and this, welding the rivets onto the top of the plate that held the angles on so the bolt holes lined up with the sides of the step. There was a lot involved in a lot of putting things together a couple times before we really got the look we were looking for. And on top of that, making sure that everything was level. Sometimes we put these side steps on and they'd be crooked, so shimming everything and making it look good. This area took a long time to fix. There was also several holes that needed patched in the tender as well, where I put new sheets of metal in because the metal that was there was just so thin. So this area back here probably, I would say, for the whole project took us the longest time. So this is the inside of the tender in the coal bunker where the coal would have been. These were just recently stained, and I think they came out pretty good. We had to redo the stake pockets. We had to get new brackets bent. I had to cut off all the old brackets because they didn't align right and redo. You can see here some of the measurements I had to redo. I had to realign all of the brackets so that they would look good, be symmetrical, and fit where they were supposed to fit. So this was an area that took a little bit of time getting just right. These doors for the coal bunker, when this tender was originally donated, they had put the wrong doors on these. So they actually had an 040, an A5's doors on here instead of the correct ones for a B6. So we had to get these remanufactured and reinstalled with new brackets and everything. The handbrake also had to be reconditioned as well. You can see on the bottom where it goes to a different color. That's actually new metal, where I had to weld a new section onto the bottom of it. These doors on the tender, which I haven't actually opened before, these would have been storage for the engineer and the fireman. There was a lot of metal work that had to be done inside. This one's not as interesting as the other side. I'll zoom. This was where, if you can look inside, you can see kind of a big cast piece. This is where all the tools for the firemen would have gone. So there would have been shovels and brooms and different wrenches and things in here, with a couple also air hoses and whatnot in case they needed to fix things. So this all needed work as well. Another area that needed work that I didn't get a chance to show too much was we had to install the water fill back on this, and this needed a lot of work. It was in bad shape. You might be wondering why it's so high. So if you think about it, this tender is sloped. So if this was level here, you'd only be able to fill the tender with water to the lowest point of the water fill. So what they did was they raised the water fill up to the height higher than the top of the tender, the flat part, so you could get the maximum amount of water in. And when this came in, this was in rough shape. We had to redo the angle on here, and I had to weld all these rivets in as well to make it look good. They were welded inside. The last area I wanted to go in, and excuse my echo, but I wanted to show everybody all the work we've done inside this tender. This tender, it's a little dusty, but this tender is painted on the inside to stop any further rust from deteriorating it. So I wanted to just show everybody kind of what the inside of these looks like. And it's important to do this so that for longevity, this is going to stay like this for a long time and not get any worse. Over there is where you can see, that's the back of the plate, the new plate that I put in, and it's welded inside and out. But yeah, this is what the inside of the tender looks like. So I'm underneath the locomotive in our pit we have in the shop, and the last thing I want to show everybody is the detail work underneath the tender that we've done. I want to focus in. You'll be able to see, there'll be like a lighter brown color. There's boards that are running across the whole bottom of the tender, and we had to have our carpenter cut each one of them out to fit exactly where they had to fit. And the challenge with this was, you might see there's rivets all on the bottom, and each board had to have all the holes drilled, so when we lowered the tender on and the rivet lines would hit the board, it wouldn't get caught up and not fit right. Now back in the day, they would just drop them, fill them with water and coal, and the weight of it would over time push it against the board. But since this is going to have water and coal in it, we had to make sure that we had the provisions so that the boards would fit. And all of this also was painted underneath. It looks really good, and I'm going to just take a walk through. So there you can see the boards. Here's the brake rigging for the tender so the brakes would work. Here you can really see all those new boards. And the boards acted as kind of like, you could almost call it a suspension, because if they just plopped the tender on it, it would wear and it would cause holes and water would leak out and there'd be all sorts of problems. You can see here where we had to make new brackets to hold the boards down to the side of the frame. Here's the rear of the tender, and you can see all the new metal here for the rear pilot. It was completely disintegrated when we got it. I've seen pictures. It was not in good shape, so we had to make sure we put all of this in. Believe it or not, there's only 4 bolts that hold down this tender to the frame, which is pretty interesting. That about wraps up the tour of the majority of the work we did to the tender. Now, I could talk for hours about this probably, but that kind of gave an overview of the major projects that we had on it. I'm really looking forward to bringing the locomotive in and showing everybody all the work we have to do with that. There's a lot of work with that. We have to pull the superheaters out. We have to rebuild the whole front of the smoke box. We have to build the ash pan. We have to rebuild the back head. So it's going to take some time, but I'm looking forward to showing everybody what that entails. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.